I've never heard of that happening. I can tell you this. I personally, this is all I can say. I personally, and no one on our team, no one, not David, not Bob, no one ever heard directly from the FBI that this is closed, or the FBI or the DOJ, because this federal investigation was closed. So my answer is,
and this is just for the new subscribers, the new viewers, the people that are new to this case or new to my channel. I've said time and time again, the feds will investigate till the very final last minute of the statute of limitations. They can wait and wait and wait, because basically it's a three-lettered agency building up a case, gathering evidence, and then shopping it to U.S. attorneys who will take it, preferably in the jurisdiction where the district where the crimes have happened. They can take it out of it. I was indicted out of my district for some charges a long time ago that had nothing to do with it. And but anyways, I had a couple of indictments, and what they did was called a Rule 21, where they combined all the indictments and they just indicted me in one spot. But they can wait. They can absolutely wait. I've seen guys get pulled out of their businesses, their jobs, for something that happened pre-sentence that they've already served, gotten out, been to the halfway house, gone to treatment, done all the things, have a new family, new house, and have been indicted on something that the feds have held on to for years throughout the time of the statute of limitations. So, hey guys, welcome to After the Bar Show. I am Sam. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing pretty good. It's Saturday. It's a beautiful, beautiful rainy Saturday evening. It's gorgeous out here in Big Sky, Montana tonight, and it's just a nice, light, warm rain. And I don't know. I totally enjoy these evenings. I wish I could be out there tonight, hanging out in the rain, but instead I'm hanging out in here with you. What we have a Howie Carr interviewed Alan Jackson and Karen Reed this morning. Was so excited about that, and they got to have a little chat about some things to come. And of course, you know, I was there. I was going to be there, and I was just going to do it live on my Morning Mayhem show that I'm going to be premiering this next week. It's going to be like a re-premiere. It's an old show, but I'm revamping it after the summer hiatus. We got lots of new things that we're going to be doing in the Morning Mayhem show, and so I thought I was going to be able to kind of just maybe highlight that interview, kind of have it be like the first thing that we got to do commentary on, analysis, ranting, whatever happens and decide to do. But instead, I decided to do it tonight instead, and I could have it for upload tomorrow, Friday morning. It feels like a weekend to me for some reason, and so I'm just kind of like befargled about how I'm feeling. I slept in, or I was up late with my wife talking, and then I was slept in today, and so it's actually kind of late in the evening right now. My daughter fell asleep about an hour ago. I was just sitting here watching YouTube, and I was like watching the interview. I told myself I wasn't going to watch it because I wanted just to react live to it, but instead I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, I want to talk about this right now. Some new information that I had not known prior to listening to this about Higgy Bear. So I'm sure some of you know it because you're big Karen Reed fans also, and might have watched different YouTubers that I'm not even aware that exist, and maybe they have talked about this. I've never heard this before. And we're going to talk about that once it comes up, once Alan Jackson talks about it. Maybe even Howie Carr brings it up, actually. So pretty exciting. We're going to get to it right here. I am Sam. This is After the Bars, your true crime legal analysis expert. And I will be back in 2 and 2. And
Real Fabio?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost had the name. He's like, yeah, that dude, he didn't testify against somebody on a murder trial. Okay, guys, welcome back to the show. Let's get right into this. This is Howie Carr and Alan Jackson. Karen Reed is off to the left, just sitting off screen. She will be joining them after the first break. I will be fast forwarding it through the break, so this will be a little more succinct than actually watching it live. Let's check it out.
The only duo, lawyer and client, who has gotten back-to-back acquittals on murder charges.
It's Howie Carr.
Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. If you'd like to join us, 844-500-4242. We are back here today in the belly of the beast, Norfolk County. And with us, it's a real pleasure to have them with us. For the first segment, we're going to be talking to Alan Jackson, Karen Reed's attorney. Karen Reed is right over in the corner. She'll be joining us a little bit later on. But Alan Jackson said in June, I'll be coming back and I'll be on the show in the studio, and you're fulfilling your promise, and we really appreciate it.
Of course he is.
And we have so many questions to get to, Alan.
My pleasure. I missed the mark by a few weeks, but I told you I'd be back, and it's my pleasure to be here with you.
And again, I'm sure you're very happy to be back here in Norfolk County.
I got to say, I love the people here. I love the food here. Norfolk. Yeah, man. I still have some I'll put mixed emotions. How about that? I've got some mixed emotions
All right.
about being back here.
Oh, there's so many questions to ask you about. And the first thing is, we've all speculated that Karen Reed is going to file a civil lawsuit against the powers that be that have that tried to frame her. And so, what is that? What you're back here for?
Well, I can say this: I'm back for a reason. I didn't. It's not just a pleasure tour. So I'm back here for a reason. We've met with the legal team back here, dealing with the civil issue. There's obviously a lot to unpack where that's concerned. So we had and will continue to have significant meetings about that. What Karen's next options, what her options are in general, but what her next moves might be. And we're considering all options. And in terms of the civil case itself, I'm not going to disclose everything that we've discussed, but certainly nothing is off the table. I can put it that way.
State or federal?
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Good answer. First of all, he doesn't want to disclose too much of what, he doesn't want to play their hand so, people can get hip to it, but probably both. And that might be double jeopardy. That might not be allowed, but I would go with federal before state just because of their history record with the state and the fairness that they've gotten out of the state. Yeah, I know she did win in a trial, but that's because she had 12 peers. It wasn't by a lack of them not trying to destroy her life completely and send her to prison for the rest of her life.
At this point, that's part of what we're deciding. That there's options that we have, both state and federal options, and we're exploring all those options. So we'll see.
And I know that the O'Keefe case, the civil damages that the O'Keefe family is seeking against Karen and the bars. I mean, it doesn't seem like they got much of a case against her since she's been acquitted, and since the experts agree that the car didn't hit John O'Keefe. Right. So she doesn't have much of a case, but you've got to still defend against that, and you're in Plymouth County.
Right. I'm not worried about the county where we're at. I'm Plymouth. It could be any place. I really don't care. I think you're right. I think you hit the nail right on the head. They're going to have, I'll put it this way. I think the civil action that's been filed against Karen, they're going to have a very, very, very significant uphill battle.
And against the bar, for that matter. He didn't die because he was too drunk. And that would be their case against the bar. If a bartender served John O'Keefe too much alcohol, they would have a case against the bar, but they don't. He left there pretty stable. He had a designated driver per se. It was Karen, but he wasn't driving. So the case against the bar, I think she should go over the McAlberts 1,000%. And I think they would win. They would win. That they could, without having to admit that they had unalived John O'Keefe, they could just say that he was on their way to his house. And if it wasn't for them asking for him to come to their house, he wouldn't have been found unalived on their lawn. So they would be held culpable for multiple reasons. It's too bad that their ego won't let them do that, because then they would have to admit that most likely it wasn't Karen and we've been wrong all along. And the O'Keefes will never do that. And shame on them. Shame on them.
Very obviously, the jury has spoken. It's not like there wasn't an enormous amount of scrutiny that was put on through all the evidence against her, and 2 times, not once, 2 times, jurors determined that there was no collision.
I don't think people think about that enough. But you mentioned it in the first interview, and
right.
I think it bears repeating. She was a victim of double jeopardy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And we made that pitch not only to Judge Cannone, but
all the way up to the SJC.
Court, right? Yeah. And we believe that we were correct. I'll go to my grave believing that we were correct. I don't know why the appellate departments that heard this case didn't agree. I'm a little gobsmacked by that. I'll remain confused by that. But
there's that word. He used that in the Kevin Spacey trial. Just gobsmacked that this is even happening. If he ever writes an autobiography, that's what he should call it. Just gobsmacked. I love that word. It's a great word.
Look, that just gave us that much more impetus, that much more motivation to go back a second time, given the fact that there was going to be a second trial, and make sure that she got acquitted the second time as well. But there's no question that that's not even open to dispute that the jurors came back with every charge and allegation that was associated with striking John O'Keefe. She was acquitted the first time, and she was acquitted the second time.
So how much, we've dealt with these cases of frame ups and people actually going to prison. You had the 4 guys that were framed by the FBI. They spent 35 years in prison. They got $102 million, I believe. You have Freddie Weichel, who was framed in this county as a favor for Whitey Bulger to take him off the street. He won a $33 million judgment that was tossed out, most of it. Then he won $15 million from the town of Braintree. I'm just laying these out. How much do you think Karen can get?
The question is, how much is a life worth? How much is her reputation worth? How much is her professional reputation worth? Her professional reputation, she's lost all of that. She had to sell her house. She had to sell her car. She hasn't driven in 4 years. Her reputation has been dragged through the mud because of these allegations. And these are things that no citizen, no righteously should ever have to suffer. So how much is that worth? How much value, Howie, would you put on being in her shoes for 10 minutes, let alone 4 years? That's the question. And that's going to be a question for the jury. And we're going to decide what we think is appropriate to ask for. But I don't think there's any amount of money. There's not an amount of money that I can think of that would reasonably compensate her.
She wasn't in prison per se, but I mean, it's kind of a prison that she's been in, isn't it?
Well, to your point, per se.
And she was targeted. Sorry to interrupt, guys, but and she was targeted. That's worth something. That's worth something. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we made a mistake. She was targeted, and they can prove that, and they're going to prove that. And we're going to be right here at After the Bars with you guys watching that every step of the way.
No, she wasn't in prison per se. She was in jail twice. She was jailed twice, twice too many times. But she was in a prison of the making of the Massachusetts State Police, the Norfolk DA's office, Michael Morrissey and his henchmen. That was a prison in and of itself, and far worse and far too long than anything she should have ever had to suffer. She just simply didn't have anything to do with the death of John O'Keefe. And there's a lot of folks out there who know that.
So, you can sue, I believe, the state police, and Correct. You can sue individuals, but can you sue the district attorney, Michael Morrissey? That
is a knottier legal question, not KNOTTY. That's a more difficult legal question. District attorneys, by and large, and here in Massachusetts, enjoy something called qualified immunity. So the question becomes whether or not there is a legal standard that we can overcome to actually prosecute a civil case against them.
It'd be a long road.
But generally, the answer is no. They enjoy an immunity, both Michael Morrissey himself anyway, as well as his deputies or assistant DAs.
That's okay. They have no money. They're civil service workers. Why go after them? Go after the state. The state will pay. It's perfect for Karen. and by and large for Alan Jackson too.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I'd love the opportunity to have that discussion in open court in a civil case about what his conduct consisted of and what his deputies' conduct consisted of as well.
Now, are you going to get in a potential civil case, whether in state or federal court, are you going to get access to all of these emails and texts from the cloud that we're already reading about?
We'll see. We'll see. That's certainly something that we're focusing on heavily in the civil case. The information that we didn't get in the criminal case through requests and demands that we made to Justice Cannone, it opens up a whole new batch of possibilities for us to get some of that data in the civil case. So they brought the civil case, right? You don't get to, it's a sword and a shield, right? So you don't get to bring a civil case and then hide behind some sort of anonymity and trying to suppress the evidence that we need to properly defend against that civil case. And I can guarantee you that civil case will be righteously defended. That means getting every single scrap of information that we're entitled to and that we did not get during the criminal case.
Yeah, I mean, you've already seen some of it. I mean, the fact that that crazy woman, the woman with the hat on her head, they as soon as they see what she's going to say, Morrissey emails back, "Hire this woman immediately!" ! All capital letters.
Right. There's those emails are revelatory.
I don't know what he's talking about there. I would love to comment on that and enlighten you guys what that is. Maybe someone in the chat could tell me what they're talking about there. I kind of researched it a tiny bit before, but I just don't know.
Read all of them. We haven't seen all of them. It's yet to be seen how much of that we get, but there's quite a few revelations I think that are going to be had in those emails. Michael Morrissey was very, very, I'll put it this way, he was very involved in the decision making that ended up putting Karen Reed in these very compromised positions, being prosecuted.
He's run for district attorney many times. He's raised $200 from one guy, a House counsel for a corrupt speaker who was convicted of a felony in 11 months. He's raised one contribution in 11 months. You think he's running for re-election?
I hope not.
He's already said he wasn't.
I hope not. For the sake of the community, for the sake of Massachusetts, for Christ's sake. I mean, no. I hope he's not. I don't know what's in Michael Morrissey.
Karen is smiling. I just have to point that out.
He's already announced he's not.
I cannot imagine a circumstance in which he thinks, number one, that he could win, and number two, that he would actually be an effective leader for the community. That's the job, right? That is, at the end of the day, it's not about you feathering your nest, Mr. Morrissey, right? It's about really doing that which is the heart of community service. You're there to represent the community members. The community members don't want you. They just don't. And I think that's
we're not that into you anymore, Mike Morrison.
One way to break that one.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a break, and then Karen Reed will be back with us. 844-500-4242.
Let's get to it.
I'm Howie Carr.
Guess what, guys?
Will return.
Guess what? We don't have to watch these guys during a commercial break. We'll just go to where he has the headphones back on. There we go.
By Boston.
Perfect, huh?
Howie Carr is back.
All right, with us this hour are Alan Jackson and Karen Reed, and I'm going to speak. I wanted to talk to Karen Reed a little bit this segment, and it's mainly about the court and the legal wranglings to come. But I did want to check in with Karen Reed, and thanks so much for coming in, Karen.
Thanks,
we really
Howie.
appreciate it. What's your post-trial life like?
It's not quite as I expected. I was expecting a switch to be flipped. That was the opposite of the one that got flipped on me at 6 a.m. on January 29th, 2022. But it's been more like a dimmer that the lights are coming on a little brighter each week. There's moments I have every day that have these little epiphanies of, wow, this is the first time I've done fill in the blank in the last 4 years that I wasn't living with this this nightmare.
Were you even allowed to leave the state?
I was, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't have any travel restrictions.
Okay, so now, but you lost your house. You had to sell your house.
Yeah, I sold my house between the two trials. I was scraping to afford one trial, and that was with the help of my attorneys to just piece this defense together. But then to face it a second time, I was not financially prepared at all. So I knew I was hanging on to my house, but after the first trial, I realized I just can't.
So,
I mean, you realize when you have to sacrifice to make something happen, to fight for your life, you pull every lever you can. Like I'm going to take to couch surfing. I can't sit on this asset anymore.
So you lost your house. You lost your two jobs, right? You had you got a really good job at Fidelity. Right?
I had a great job at Fidelity. I've always wanted to be there, and I felt lucky every day that I walked into 245 Summer Street, and
she is a very, very smart woman, man. It's she's really super smart, and she was an adjunct professor at one of the universities.
I worked with brilliant people. I learned every day, and that job was not just a job. That was my career, and
it's a career.
I still miss it.
Is there a chance you could ever get it back?
I don't know. I think I don't know if I can hop back on the commuter rail and walk through South Station every day. And I have other things I need to do in terms of illuminating what I've seen the last 4 years.
Now, so you're living with your parents
yes.
now, right? And what's that like at this late date?
I consider myself very fortunate that for all I've lost, the things I need, I still have. And I'm lucky. My parents are in their late 70s. I'm lucky I have them. They're smart. They're nurturing and funny. And we watch movies together. We've traveled. We've taken a few trips, the three of us together. And I prayed during this ordeal that you can take away, God, whatever needs to be taken away, but let my parents be here on the other side, even for one day. Can I have one day with my parents after an acquittal? And I've had a summer, and we make the most of it. We're going to see them for dinner after this, and I love seeing them every day.
How are they doing? How are Bill and Janet doing?
My parents are great. They're the strongest people I know. They're faithful. They're strong, and they have good sense of humor.
You got all your other family. You got your brother, and you got your cousin Kelly.
I've got friends and family and new people that I have come into my life. A lot of support around me.
Awesome to go to dinner.
But did you
with those four? That would just be amazing. Just a good dinner, a nice bottle of wine, good conversation, catching up. I don't know. That would be amazing for me.
Get your car back yet?
I don't have my car back yet. I don't know. I do not have the car.
It's not for lack of trying.
Not for lack of trying, right?
Why won't they give you back your car?
F that car.
I mean, it's just logistics at this point. There's so much water under the bridge that it would require Adam Lally or somebody from the DA's office reaching out to us, and we know how that goes.
So I got to ask you. I read yesterday that they've Elizabeth Banks is going to play you in the movie, and I said, how are is this the same movie that you sold the rights to? What's the story?
You know what, Howie? I probably read that the same time you did, give or take a couple minutes.
Banks,
I have nothing to do with that. It's not authorized by me in any way. There is a more to this story. I won't say another side. I think that the public at large knows this story. They know the truth, but there's a lot more to it than what I think Elizabeth Banks knows at this point. But I've never spoken to her. This is not the authorized. I have not blessed this. No.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: if it's not too catty a question, she's 52 years old. You're 45. I mean, how do you feel about her, an older woman, playing you?
Well, this happened. This nightmare started when I was 42. So she'd be playing someone 10 years younger, which I'm not an ageist in any way, but I would like to see this if it were to come to life on a big screen or on a small screen. I'd love for supporters of mine and people who believe in the truth of this to know more than what Elizabeth Banks knows.
And it's really her story to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is Karen Reed's story to tell. It's not Hollywood's story to make up and to fill in blanks that they want to fill in, to take a poetic license, a literary license, movie license. It really is Karen Reed's story to tell. And so it's a little bit of a shame that she was never even consulted, never even contacted. Like she said, we read about this.
It was totally new when you read it yesterday.
Yeah. I had heard through the grapevine that she was interested, but I would think she'd have reached out to us. She knows who our contacts are. And
yeah, that movie will not be any good because there's a lot of information that these guys are holding close to their chest. They're holding it for not just for the civil trial. They're going to be getting more info for the civil trial. The movie to make would be after the civil trial. That will be the complete truthful movie. And so whatever Hollywood makes right now is just going to be lame.
In California. Yeah, we're not hard to find.
So your next thing is the movie, or what's your next move?
I don't know from day to day what my next move is. I'd like a book out there. There's just a lot more to tell. A lot of what it took to fight this that was behind closed doors. I think people would be very interested in that.
The story does need to be told, but it needs to be told accurately. There's a lot of things that were uncovered during the course of this trial and this odyssey, and it needs to be told accurately.
I want to ask you about that when we come back,
Sure.
but I wanted to show. I found a bag in the trash. I am from Norfolk County, and I found this bag, Norfolk County District Attorney. It's Michael Morrissey bag. So I got
and you literally found it in the trash.
I literally found it in the trash, and there's some stuff in here.
I mean, somebody's got taste. Throwing that away.
This. It's a Where's Chloe? Where's Chloe?
Everybody loves Chloe. Everybody wants to find out what happened to Chloe.
Hey, look at this. Look at this, guys.
Those are dangerous.
Those are dangerous. I think this may be contraband in Norfolk County.
I know. They got a bolo out.
This is an indictable offense, putting this on this table, I think.
Exactly.
And I stopped by Mass State Police Headquarters in Middlesex County today, and I went to the store, and guess what they have here? This is some
but
fresh from the factory.
Are there 47 pieces? Exactly. Is the question.
Exactly. Some of them are big, some of them are small. Hold it up for the camera there. This is they have ships working three shifts a day on this, 24 hours a day, breaking tail light.
I'm sure.
To throw out at the crime scenes. Karen Reed, thank you so much. We'll be back with Alan Jackson here, and we're so happy you're here, and we're so happy you beat the rap twice.
Thank you, Howie.
Twice.
After another segment with Alan Jackson, there's another segment with Karen. We're going to fast forward to the next one with Alan Jackson. There we go, right about there.
It's Howie Carr.
844-500-4242. And with us in the studio is Alan Jackson, Karen Reed's attorney. Karen Reed was just with us. She's chatting now with Veronica, George Mendoza's daughter. Veronica and George brought in some great food for us today from Monica's. And you guys haven't checked that place out yet.
I got to try it.
It's really a great place. Anyway, I want to ask you something. Now, this is something. There's been a lot of speculation in social media. Judge Cannoni, who you had problems with, everyone had problems with her, and she has now transferred from this hallowed county down to Plymouth County in Superior Court. So she is in the same county where the O'Keefe case is going to be heard, where she's the defendant and where she might be the plaintiff in a massive civil rights case. So is there a chance that Beverly Cannoni could grab Karen Reed's case and try to do it again?
I don't think so. Like you said, there's been a lot of speculation on the internet about that. I don't think so. I think that's just happenstance. She's literally in a different courthouse, happens to be in the same county. Judge O'Shea has been assigned to the case for all purposes. Judge O'Shea is the RAJ, the regional administrative justice over that region. So I would imagine that Judge O'Shea, when he took the case and took it for all purposes, that's exactly what that means. And I trust that. So I think
they're going to get a fair civil trial case, unless this judge just happens to be connected to the O'Keefe somehow, and there's not a quid pro quo, but a type of collusion again. But there's such a magnifying glass on all of this. I couldn't imagine even anyone even attempting to do any kind of collusion or anything that wasn't like 1,000,000% on the up and up.
I think we are going to be in Judge O'Shea's court.
So Beverly Cannoni is in Brockton.
She's in Brockton, the city of Brockton.
And in your case is
City
going
of
to
Plymouth.
be in the town of Plymouth.
Town of Plymouth.
So there's no, probably never the twain shall meet.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not concerned about it. Nobody on our team is concerned about it. We don't think that's going to happen.
So you've got a whole civil team that's going to be working here now.
Exceptionally talented folks at the firm, Damon Seligson and Charlie Waters, Chaz Waters, Aaron, the whole team. They're dedicated to this case. They have dug in. They've rolled their sleeves up. I've been thoroughly impressed. They know the case better than I would have ever expected.
You know what I want to talk to you about?
Hey guys, it's Sam. Sorry to interrupt the show, but hey, can you hit that like button down below? It's absolutely free, and it really, really helps the algorithm.
But it's their verdict.
Welcome to the After the Bars podcast.
Folks, to know the case that weren't on it for the last 3 or 4 years. They know the granular details, and I couldn't be happier. Karen's in very, very, very good hands.
Since the trial ended, you wrote a scathing letter. It was really well written to the police commissioner of the city of Boston, Michael Cox.
Right.
And you told him that you thought that his officer, Kelly Dever, should be added to the Brady list. Why don't you tell us about that? And if you've gotten any, well, go ahead. Tell us what.
First of all, can we clear this up so that folks don't think I'm a complete idiot? So, a single consonant following a vowel is a hard vowel. D-E-V-E-R is pronounced Dever. D-E-V-V-E-R would be Dever. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. When she corrected me and basically knocked me backward on my heels for mispronouncing her name, I did learn English. So the rules of English.
It's not your third language.
It's not my third language. No. And I do know what the word theory actually means as well. As does Sergeant Buchanan. In any event, Kelly Dever, as she likes to pronounce it, I thought I needed to write that letter for the protection of the public and the protection of other defendants. She should be on the Brady list for the reasons that I put in the letter.
Which is an unreliable witness.
She's an unreliable witness. She admitted one of two things is true. Either she lied or she has a faulty memory, and she has a really hard time with recollecting facts. She has false memories. It's not just a faulty memory. All of us have a faulty memory. She is subject to, as she put it, false memories. How could she reasonably be a police officer going forward with false memories? I mean, she'd be expected to be a professional witness, an eyewitness to everything that she does, every arrest that she makes, every piece of evidence that she finds, every piece of evidence that she proffers or presents.
When do you believe she was telling the truth? When she spoke to the FBI and said she saw Higgins and Berkowitz for a wildly long time? Or when
100%.
That's
100%. That's exactly what the truth was. There's no way to have a false memory that's concocted to that level of detail. And all I wanted, it's not, I don't know how I became her enemy. She's a police officer. I'm simply a party in a lawsuit that was brought by Michael Morrissey and his folks, a criminal lawsuit. And all I asked her to do was get on the stand and tell the truth. And it turned into an absolute disaster for her, not for me, for her. None of the jurors believed her. They all thought that she was completely lying. And she was. One has to, when one's left to speculate as to why she lied. When you couple that.
Why would you speculate
she lied? You couple that with the fact that she was called up to
the commissioner's office,
Commissioner Cox's office. Why is a rookie cop with 8 months on the job at the time at Boston Police Department called up to the commissioner's office? She probably should not have even met the commissioner for the next 5, 6, 8 years of her career. There was no reason for that to happen. Then when she starts playing loose and fast and loose with the facts about that meeting, then you couple that with Commissioner Cox
his
acting
statement.
like he's never even heard her name. I think he said, "I've never said the words Karen Reed. Those words have never been in a sentence." How could that possibly be? At the end of the day, John O'Keefe was.
So the commissioner said that he never seen her. He never mentioned the word Karen Reed ever. He didn't even see that officer. She absolutely said, yes, he called me in and told me to do what's right. Was basically to keep her job, she better, retract her statement that when she made to the feds. She should be held accountable for all of that. I just did a video. You can check it up there in the corner that she did quit. There hasn't been any like a second or third confirmation of that yet, but it's pretty reliable that she did.
One of his officers.
I'm surprised.
This is one of the highest profile cases where he lost an officer on the lawn of who? Another one of his officers. And the person accused and blamed for that happens to be named Karen Reed. And his answer is, I've never said those words. I don't know who Karen Reed is. I've never said a sentence with the name Karen Reed in it. And then you have Kelly Dever, who happens to get a subpoena.
Which just goes to show he's a liar. I'm trying to stop swearing, but an effing liar. They're just all liars, you know what? And Karen Reed's going to be a billionaire for it. From the movie, the book, the civil lawsuit, everything that's to come. Like she said just a few minutes ago, there's so much more of the story to tell, of just unfinished business and things that they're holding tight to their chests. And it's exciting. And here at After the Bars, we're going to be right there, right every step of the way.
From the defense, and before she's able to testify, she ends up in his office. None of that passes the smell test. None of it.
And then he said at the end of his interview, Commissioner Cox, he said that case is closed. I didn't know that case was closed.
It's far from closed. It's far from closed in my mind.
There's no one has been convicted of killing a Boston police officer.
John O'Keefe's killer or killers have yet to be brought to justice.
Will they ever be?
I fear that given the circumstances of what I've seen here with the Boston Police Department, the Canton Police Department, the MSP, and the powers that be in prosecutorial positions, I fear that is never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. They have no motivation. They have no urgency. They would rather sit back on their heels and say, well, the jury got it wrong.
I mean, look, the federal case is still going to be open. They're going to investigate, and they're going to end up with proof of Brian Higgins. Someone's going to tell on themselves. Someone's going to finally admit to what happened that night, and then there will be justice for John O'Keefe. I see that happening. What Alan's talking about is that, on a state level, are they going to try to investigate and prosecute someone for John O'Keefe's murder? Probably not.
She did it. And it's just not true.
It's sad.
Or chase rubber duckies.
Or chase rubber ducks and make people's lives miserable. It's a shame. It's shameful.
A texter, can you ask Alan why he thinks John was murdered in the garage?
I've gone through in great detail what I think the theory of the case is. It's in my very lengthy closing argument. I don't want to speculate any further than what the facts show, and the facts indicate what I argued in 2 trials. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think this is the forum to discuss that. I think there will be another forum to discuss that, and I'll allow myself the room to discuss it then. We're not finished with the court system, and the court system is going to allow me another opportunity and another platform, and allow Karen another platform to get the truth out, and we damn well intend to do it.
That's in the civil case.
Correct.
Wherever it is.
Wherever it is.
Now, I know you'll mainly be going after the state police, but
really? Don't put words in my mouth, Howie.
Yeah, no, it's going to be much more than just the state police.
It's sport of, But how about some of the individuals that are involved? We can run, the laundry list.
I do.
You know it better than me.
I do. I know the list that you're thinking of, and
let me run down the list. Michael Proctor.
So I'm going to repeat this constantly. Nothing's off the table, and no one's off the table.
Yuri Buchanek.
Nothing's off the table.
So they might be lawyering up even further than they're already lawyered up.
We'll see. We'll see how many lawyers it takes to defend against the righteous truth.
How about Brian?
There you have it, the righteous truth. And look, Alan Jackson is such an amazing lawyer and just a person in general. When he says righteous truth, he means like, I know all of this to be true. And it was that conviction that sold me at the very, very beginning of all this. When you start talking about righteous truth and you trust the character of the person that's saying it, you can take that to the bank in my eyes. And if we're wrong. And then, you promptly admit it. But until then, you have the righteous.
And Higgins. This is a guy who took his cell phone to the FBI kiosk.
Oh, here it is. I did not know this.
And I believe Chelsea, and had his buddy basically cleanse the phone.
An FBI buddy.
Oh.
Using FBI resources, by the way. Think about that.
Why didn't you call that FBI agent?
We thought about it. It is an incredibly difficult task to run through. It's a labyrinthine process to subpoena a federal agent. Incredibly difficult to do.
So same thing applies to Brian Higgins as an ATF agent?
Didn't seem to.
They didn't call him. The prosecutor did. And the prosecution would have no problem calling a law enforcement.
To bother the Norfolk DA's office to call him. They called him first in the first trial, and I had an opportunity to cross-examine him. But if we want to, if a defense wants to subpoena a federal agent, a righteous federal agent, someone who's licensed and deputized, either if the FBI, ATF, whomever, it is a very, very difficult process, and it's not as easy as just issuing a subpoena.
Do you think the federal investigation is over?
I've said this before, and I'll say it again, Howie. I've never heard in my career, ever heard of federal investigators calling the target of an investigation or targets of an investigation and saying, hey, by the way, guys, we've just closed this. You're good to go. I've never heard of that happening. I can tell you this. This is all I can say. I personally, and no one on our team, no one, not David, not Bob, no one ever heard directly from the FBI that this is closed, or the FBI or the DOJ, because this federal investigation was closed. So my answer is, and
this is just for the new subscribers, the new viewers, the people that are new to this case or new to my channel. I've said time and time again, the feds will investigate till the very final last minute of the statute of limitations. They can wait and wait and wait, because basically it's a three-lettered agency building up a case, gathering evidence, and then shopping it to U.S. attorneys who will take it, preferably in the jurisdiction where the district where the crimes have happened. They can take it out of it. I was indicted out of my district for some charges a long time ago that had nothing to do with it. And anyways, I had a couple of indictments, and what they did was called a Rule 21, where they combined all the indictments and they just indicted me in one spot. But they can wait. They can absolutely wait. I've seen guys get pulled out of their businesses, their jobs for something that happened pre-sentence that they've already served, gotten out, been to the halfway house, gone to treatment, done all the things, have a new family, new house, and have been indicted on something that the feds have held on to for years throughout the time of the statute of limitations. So it's never over. It's never over with the feds, and it's not over now. Let's just hope and pray that there's a SAC out there who has a SAC, and that's the SAC meaning SAC, the special agent in charge. They usually are in charge of, if not one, a few different field offices for the FBI, and that there's one out there that has enough balls to actually keep investigating this and shop that around and get some indictments going. Let's just pray and hope.
Unless and until that were to happen, no, I don't believe that.
It was announced, I think, by
closed.
Helena Rafferty after she hit the old guy in the crosswalk at dusk.
Right. There's motives on the other side's part to want this investigation to be closed and to have that sort of out in the ether. But anything that's closed can be reopened, even if it were closed. So who cares?
I want to ask you about something that just bugs me a little bit. This guy, Gregory Long, he was the superintendent in chief of the Boston Police Department. He was a neighbor of John O'Keefe and Brian Albert
from Canton.
Yeah, from Canton.
Right.
He lived in Canton.
Right.
And like when Karen Reed was arrested, he put out a press release and he said the Norfolk DA's office and the state police have apprehended the killer of John O'Keefe. None of this. She has been charged, or none of the, the boilerplate at the bottom, like, guilty and innocent until proven guilty. He just put out a statement like that.
Yeah, that was shameful. He should be ashamed of himself. That was disturbing. It was troubling. It was upsetting. It was disgraceful for his office. He knows better. Everybody in his office knows better. She is cloaked in the.
Yeah, that's why they couldn't find anyone to take it. They had to call a mob lawyer, Hank Brennan, to take the case. That's why there was no one there to do it. Absolutely no one, because for what little ethical, anything that they might have, they couldn't take it in good faith.
Presumption of innocence, as we all are, when an arrest is made, when allegations are made. She's cloaked in an unremovable presumption of innocence, unless and until the Commonwealth puts to bed that issue by a trial. With a jury verdict or a court verdict, there's no excuse for leveling that claim or making that statement in public. All that did was turn the public against an innocent woman. It was despicable.
We'll be back with,
and hence they have more for their civil case.
Yeah, he's by the way, his wife is a judge, and she serves with Judge Cannoni.
I did.
He put out a press release and he said the Norfolk DA's office and the state police have apprehended the killer of John O'Keefe. None of this. She has been charged, or none of the,
setting. It was disgraceful for his office. He knows better. Everybody in his office knows better. She is cloaked in the presumption of innocence, as we all are, when an arrest is made, when allegations are made. She's cloaked in an unremovable presumption of innocence, unless and until the Commonwealth puts to bed that issue by a trial with a jury verdict or a court verdict. There's no excuse for leveling that claim or making that statement in public. All that did was turn the public against an innocent woman. It was despicable.
We'll be back with
quite frankly, I think he owes her an apology.
Yeah, he's. By the way, his wife is a judge, and she serves with Judge Cannoni.
I did not know that.
It's the hackaram, as we say in Norfolk County. 844-500-4242. We'll be right back with a few final thoughts from Alan Jackson. I'm Howie Carr.
Follow Howie on Instagram.
Hi, I'm a big influencer.
Howie Carr Radio Network.
Go ahead, check it out. Recipe in bio.
Bam.
Howie Carr is back.
All right. I got my own book coming out, Mass Corruption. It's got lots of stuff. Boston, Mass State Police, judges in New Bedford, the dirty state police chemist. It's all here. You can order it right now at HowieCarShow.com. It's a pre-order right now. It'll be out very shortly. It's got a nice cover.
You've got all the cast of characters right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Listen, and Karen Reed came back here just for the last bit of the hour. And Karen, would you like to say anything to anybody as we leave here? And because you're probably not going to be doing that more interviews for a while. What do you want to say?
What I said when I came out of the courthouse after the acquittal is just thank you to just so many people. It feels like already a short lifetime ago, but it's only been 2 months. But the support, even Howie, of not even but from you and this station, and having the guts to report on what was actually happening, and not worried about any kind of retribution or political loyalties in this state and in this county. That people, a lot of women, children, and men courageous enough to be very vocal about how they felt about this, and that's how things are going to change. They need to vote, and they need to worry about their community and their families and children, grandchildren, generations to come. That and I think things will change, but emotionally, these people, journalists, and supporters, community members have emotionally pulled me through, and my family and the lawyers too, I think.
You want to say anything to District Attorney Morrissey and the state police?
Yeah, fuck you. Excuse my language, guys. I'll beep that out.
You lost.
Yeah, there you go. You lost.
Time. And you know what you did. You know what you've done.
She wants to say so much more.
The thing that nobody thinks about in a journey like this is the energy that it takes to get up every day. That what she's had to go through every day from that day in January, when she was arrested early February, until this day. Every single day she has to get up and have the spine, there's the intestinal fortitude to get up and fight a fight. It is incredibly taxing, right? Nobody's feeling sorry for us. We don't ask anybody to feel sorry for us. It takes energy. It takes gumption. It takes focus. It takes drive. We would not have had that drive and that energy and that focus and that determination had it not been for the support of the community members. We were able to do what we did. We were able to fight the fight that needed to be fought because of the community members, as well as folks like you, making sure that the community was.
And Howie Carr, but I'm sorry to interrupt him, guys, but without Howie Carr and Turtle Boy especially, lighting the fire of the community, taking those gas cans and pouring gas on all those little flames of support, as you would, was just game-changing for them, and has given them the power and the energy to get up out of bed every step of this way of this journey.
Invested in what was actually happening, that they had the right information, that they had a place that they could go to get the correct information, because misinformation was running afoot.
Let me just ask you about that Channel 4 story. They Channel 4 reported, I think the day after, that the cops had ring camera video.
Right.
A total lie, and they never retracted it.
Yeah,
for 2 years. What do you think of that?
Well, what I think is that is what they were actually told.
Correct.
I don't think the error was on Channel 4's behalf. It was what they were told at the scene.
Yeah, and they wouldn't make that up. You're just not gonna be like, when we got ring camera footage, specific evidence against someone, unless they'd been told that by the police, and then the police realized, wait a minute, this doesn't show her.
I think it existed. We made a motion in court for Brian Albert's ring camera. We believe he had some brand of surveillance at his house, and we know there was one across the street. So yeah, I think it actually existed. It ceases to exist probably now, but
they said it showed you hitting John O'Keefe.
Right, they had me buried
which
for a while.
was the abject lie.
Pin it on the girl.
Pin it on the girl. Right, and anybody that said that knew it was a lie. Knew it was completely unprovable. Because it didn't happen. As we established unequivocally through 2 trials, there was no collision.
Alan, when will I see you in court?
The 22nd of September.
That's the other case.
That's the other case.
Thank you, guys. I'm Howie Carr. Children are a gift from God, and every day.
They're talking about the case that Alan Jackson has in California. If you guys want me to cover that case, leave a comment below. It's about a young man who crashed into 4 beautiful young ladies on PCH, where it's my old stomping grounds in Malibu. And leave a comment in the chat if you want me to cover that case. It should be pretty riveting. Alan Jackson and the rest say that he isn't responsible, that the curve, it's called Dead Man's Curve, and it's called Dead Man's Curve for a reason, and that there's just blind spots, and that he wasn't speeding, he wasn't on his phone, but then they have witnesses saying he was on his phone, he wasn't drunk. It should be a pretty interesting case. It's hard to cover cases like that because there's 4 girls lost their lives, and someone needs to be held accountable. And I possibly am on the team. The state of California is responsible, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, thanks for coming out tonight, guys. Well, you guys will be actually seeing this during the day, but it's the evening time that I'm recording it. Thanks for coming out today and watching this with me. It's just amazing. Everything about this case is amazing. I can't get enough of it, actually. But there are I do have other irons in the fire coming out. We're going to be covering some of the Kohlberger stuff. Of course, we have Carmelo Anthony that's going to be coming up next year. And then any of the shenanigans that's going on before his trial. If there's any more race baiting or lies or deceit, I'll be covering that. And if you guys have any suggestions, please leave a comment in the chat and say, hey, can you cover this? I'd like to know your outlook on this situation or this case or whatever. I would love to do that for you and for all of us as a community. The Morning Mayhem show will be starting again next week. To be determined, to be announced. I don't know exactly when. But that's a live show. That's Monday through Friday. It might be just Monday, Tuesday, Friday in the beginning. And we just have an amazing community of they call themselves Samsters. The Samster community is amazing. We have a lot of fun. We have a couple little game shows that we play. We have a trivia game. We have a Florida or Germany of things that crazy things that happen either in Florida or Germany. But anyways, if you want to support the show, there's a QR code up in the right-hand corner of your screen. Anything and everything is appreciated. I don't talk about it very often, but it's the end of the month, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit just to keep the show going. And there's also on my homepage on my YouTube channel, there's in the links that they have in the description. There's also a donation link there. It's all completely secure. It's through Square. It's through my business account for my tattoo shop, and it's awesome. And I think you can write it off also. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out to the After the Bars podcast. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be putting up another show after this one gets released in the morning. And I am Sam. Remember, guys, be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. And as I have to remind myself, and just practice gratitude every morning, and you will have an amazing day, I assure you. All right, guys, be good, be safe. Mahalo.
Today's a gift we all can feel. The wounds are raw, but time will heal. Be thankful now for where you stand, and hold the world in grateful hands. After the bars, we're rising strong, facing the world where we belong. Recovery burns a steady flame. Grateful hearts call out your name. A brotherhood. There's a man named Sam who stands